Hello everyone. This presentation will analyse how managers within various organisational settings handle stakeholder management through comparative analysis. I conducted interviews with two leaders who are Guy Arrowsmith and David Sam. Guy Arrowsmith serves as the CEO and founder of Arrowflow, which operates as a for-profit software company under Simpro ownership. David Sam leads the Central Resource Unit at Epworth Hospital, which operates as a non-for-profit healthcare organisation based in Melbourne. The analysis of their responses to 4 identical questions demonstrate their stakeholder identification methods and their approaches to stakeholder prioritisation and management, as well as their social responsibility perspectives. The research links their answers to stakeholder salience theory and CSR pluralism concepts from Carol Brown and Freeman. The managers adopted a wide definition of stakeholders, which matches Freeman's 1984 exploration that stakeholders include any group or individual who influences or experiences impact from organisational objectives. Guy recognised customers and employees as the key stakeholders, but also mentioned Simpro, which is the parent company that owns Arrowflow, as stakeholders and regular industry partners as important to the group. The core stakeholders at Epworth Healthcare, according to David, include patients, staff members who are surrounded by departments, leadership, government and donors, and community members. The organisations operate based in different principles because Arrowflow needs to satisfy customers and capable staff to generate profits, while Epworth Healthcare relies on patient health and clinical team successes to fulfil its mission. Stakeholder priorities. The comparison between priorities becomes more distinct when we examine them. Guy placed an equal importance on his customers and his employees. The success of his business depends on customer satisfaction and employee commitment because unhappy staff members create dissatisfied customers, and the instrumental stakeholder theory supports this approach because the stakeholder involvement leads to long-term business results. David placed the patients at the top of his list because they need immediate attention and have most valid claim to his attention. The staff members ranked second because they work directly affecting patients' results. The stakeholder salience model shows how managers determine stakeholders' importance through the power of legitimacy and time-sensitive needs. The main difference between for-profit organisations and non-profit organisations exists in their core objectives because profit focus on value generation and non-profits concentrate on achieving their mission. As we can see on the slideshow here, we can see a graph that ranks the stakeholder importance and priority, demonstrating David and Guy's views. In regard to stakeholder tensions, the leaders identified major conflicts in their work. Guy needs to make decisions between generating profit and maintaining fairness for all stakeholders. The decision to increase prices generates more revenue but might damage customer loyalty. The organisation of Arrowflow faces power inequality because major clients request features which benefit only a small amount of users, according to Guy. David needs to make decisions between the following: the budget plan and ensuring proper patient care. The hospital administration and executive require cost control measures, but David chooses to maintain a safe staffing level because it protects the patient safety. Organisations earn social legitimacy through their decisions when they fulfil obligations to society beyond financial performances, according to Carroll and Brown. As we can see, there's a map of what stakeholders are important, and we can see in the tensions overview here a table describing and highlighting the exact issues that Guy and David face on a daily when it comes to pleasing stakeholders. When looking at stakeholder saliency in practice, we can see that Arrowflow has a very easy flowchart. Customers and employees are the highest priority with legitimacy, and then Simpro has the power as they have the final decision on what happens within the company. Now that Guy has actually in fact sold the business. Whereas Epworth has it a little bit differently, but it's almost the same in regards to Epworth patients urge urgency to make sure they're medically well and healthy. Nurses have legitimacy and power. If the nurses aren't motivated to work, then the hospital does in fact collapse. But donors have the ultimate power as they are giving their money for the hospital to run. So if the donors make an executive decision, then the entire hospital does have to listen, almost like Simpro. As we can see with the two Venn diagram graphs, we can see the overlapping of different things compared to Arrowflow and Epworth. In the middle, you have critical needs as the highest point with every circle being covered, whereas with Arrowflow, it's the core issues. And then big clients and staff reps are in the second tier of category, whereas the second tier of category for David, because he manages the central resource unit, is departments and community advocates. When talking to both managers, they shared a common understanding that the business needs to fulfill duties which extend past their stakeholder groups. Arrowflow generates social value through its software platform, which enables small businesses to trade successfully, according to Guy. The company also supports local organisations through its sponsorship of the Vermont Eagles Football Club and the Heatherdale Tennis Club. This company follows Carroll's CSR pyramid by performing economic duties and ethical responsibilities of philanthropic activities. The hospital mission at Epworth Healthcare requires David to explain that societal responsibility exists as an essential part of their organisation. The hospital uses its surplus funds to build brand new facilities and train staff and educate patients and support sustainable projects. The organisation supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals through its direct contributions. Epworth also sponsors the Surrey Parks Football Club and AFL local medical teams, providing constant funding there. When looking at the CSR societal responsibility visual, we can see that on the graph, Epworth outdoes Arrowflow in every single part of community, employee staff, environment, and core mission. This is because it is a non-for-profit and is expected to do better than a for-profit business in regards to sustainability. The managers emphasise that sustainability together with long-term planning represents a crucial aspect of their approach. Guy dedicates his resources to employee development and support instead of pursuing short-term revenue gains. David chooses to build Epworth Healthcare internal staff capabilities instead of depending solely on agency personnel. The organisation follows the triple bottom line approach, which combines financial success with social and environmental sustainability. The iron law of responsibility states that people who do not handle power correctly will eventually lose their authority. To conclude, the two organisations use different stakeholder definitions, yet the strategic priority stems from their business model, which focuses on profit generation versus serving a mission. Both organisations handle their conflicting priorities through ethical decision-making that considers both immediate and future organisation requirements. The organisations demonstrate all stakeholder theory principles and that salience and pluralism and CSR and sustainability concepts which were learned from Freeman in 1984 and Carol Brown in 2023. Thank you all very much for listening. All my references are attached below on the PowerPoint and in the transcript. Thank you so much.